Hi, we're Turin Brakes and welcome to Television Net.
Buonasera tutti.
It's the first time being back in Italy for us for a long time. I mean, I don't know, at least 3 years, which is crazy. But we used to play in Italy all the time. We just had a little break from doing a lot of touring. But now we're back and it's great. It's wonderful.
It's like a holiday now, touring. That's how we think of it. But don't tell our wives. Tell the family. I guess, yeah, it's been 10 years, which is a very long time for a band to be around. We're actually in a happier place now because we feel very like we can be how we want, our own individual selves, and not try and be a pop act or a sensation or anything like that. So we're in a good place, but it's definitely changed. Where we sit in the world of the media and the perception has changed, but maybe for the best. And maybe it will return, that we'll get lots of attention again, you never know.
We always felt like the acoustic world of the Optimist LP, our first album, was our world. We made this sound, and every record since then was almost taking a holiday from that place sometimes, and sometimes returning a bit, but not fully. So this album, we thought, well, maybe, you know, it's been 10 years since we made a consciously kind of acoustic record. So we almost didn't go any further than that. We just talked a little bit about it, and we knew that the acoustic world was kind of back again for us. And it's not just the sound, it's the attitude as well. It's a particular kind of attitude that we have, especially when we produce the album ourselves. It's very different to when we work with a producer. When you work with a producer, you're acting in somebody else's film and you're just an actor. And when you're doing it yourself, you're the director and the producer. The new album's called Outbursts, has a few different versions of meaning. You know, it's partly means outbursts as in emotional outbursts, like you can't stop something from coming out, it just comes out. And every song on the record is some kind of emotional outburst in some way, a statement or a confession or whatever you want. It's also, there's this thread of natural outbursts running through the album, disasters or nature being powering over man, you know, man being tiny and nature being enormous, and being played with by nature all the time, which it happens in the real world every few weeks. Something colossal, massive happens. A sea change, it's a meaning. When someone says it's a sea change, at least in English, it's a complete change, a colossal change of events, like society changes for some reason. It's not really making a statement about the world is going to end or we should do something. It's more just reflecting that I think many people in the world are more conscious of how far can we go before we damage our situation is so damaged that, you know, our way of life is ended or something catastrophic is going to happen. It's a feeling in the air, you know, everywhere you look, on the telly, on the news, on the adverts, everything, it relates to this idea of an environmental sort of awareness, be it good or bad or whatever, you know. It's like a countdown to an explosion. It starts off at 6 billion, which is the amount of people on the planet, and it goes all the way down to 1. But the worry is that, or the anxiety is the same from 6 billion to 1. The situation is the same all the way down to a personal level. So the Sea Change video with the miniature soldiers reflected the album in a way, which is, it's about a microscopic world, but within that microscopic world things are very important, but they're tiny. So it's playing with scale, you know. And again, it's like the album is saying about our position in the world is, to us everything's huge, but you know, if you step back, we're just ants on a rock. We only mean something to us. Something much bigger, we're nothing, you know.
Apocalypse, I mean, we'll probably mention it tonight at the gig, but it's kind of about all the bits of rubbish that you can buy when you walk out of your house. And you can pick up loads of stuff that they make on the other side of the world and they ship it over, and it's just a bit of rubbish. Plastic, you think it's great, you take it home, you put it in your house, eventually you get old, you die, and this bit of plastic will live on forever and ever and ever. And it's just about, it's kind of about consumerism and just collecting needless rubbish.
Hey, today's a brand new day. Bubbles in my toast to celebrate.
Becoming a father means you have a very different timetable, and depending on your child, it also means it's quite hard to pick up your guitar at home without playing children's songs.
It has a very practical,
very base level, practical day-to-day effect immediately.
In a way, you're kind of more aware of things, but I'm not as worried about things as I thought I would be. Like, I met other dads or mums, and they're really like, "Don't hurt my children! Don't hurt my children, world!" And I think it's not quite as simple as that. You know, of course you love them and you protect them, but it's more complicated than I thought it was going to be. The biggest regret related to being in a band is to have too much fear, to be too scared, to be a bit too scared of things. I sometimes wish if I could go back 10 years, if I could just turn off the fear in my head, then who knows what would have happened. Biggest desire, just to get to be a happy old man one day. That's it, really.
You're almost there.
I'm almost there, yeah.
The best quality of Olly, I think, is he's very good at explaining to people. He's very positive. So in a situation that a lot of people feel negative, he would find some way of making it a positive. And I guess the negative, I mean, there's many, but just to be quick, probably the snoring. I don't share a room with him anymore, but there's 8 people on our bus, and there's 2 people that snore, and he's definitely one of them.
Summer rain, dripping down your face again. Summer rain, rain.
The best quality with Gale, apart from his amazing natural ability as a guitar player and musician in general, which is obviously very important because it wouldn't sound as magnificent, is he tends to know what he wants much more quickly than I do, and that's good when you're a team. And the worst quality is that he's such a good swimmer in a swimming pool that he makes everybody else feel very embarrassed and pathetic, because he can swim up and down about 10 times in the time that it takes me or any of the other guys in the band to get once up and down. He'll go like this, like a fly. We call him the dolphin, and I think he can actually speak dolphin. I'm sure I've heard him do it at night in the bunk, which is a kind of noise. I think he can do that. So yeah, that's his worst quality, which is kind of bizarre because it's also a very good one. But